It was tough, you know. It was really tough. For me, when I first read the script, I mean, that was really my first reaction. I thought, I don't know how I'm going to figure this out. I don't know how to get there. She's interesting because she's not somebody who understands who she is or what she's feeling, and she can't articulate it either. You know, I mean, she almost has no language for it. So I kind of worked on it scene by scene and tried to find, you know, you try to find the root of what's happening in that particular space, just so that you're authentic in each and every one, and hope it, you know, you hope that it builds to something. Well, I mean, I love Paul's work actually mostly for its hopefulness, so that, you know, you do see, you know, what he's great at is kind of like taking a light and shining it on the ordinary and showing you how extraordinary it really is. He has tremendous compassion for people, and he's a real humanitarian, and he always sees what the best is, or what the best can be, and you know, he said even that everybody deserves a second chance. You can't, you know, the thing is, it's so flattering, it's such a wonderful thing, and it's so exciting, but you can't let it, you know, you can't think about it that much, and you can't let it be that important to you, because there's no controlling any of that stuff, and you just have to make sure that you have to work on your work, you know, and make that a priority, really.
The sugar daddy at the
Yeah,
beginning,
yeah, he's much older than she is. I mean, it's interesting because some people were saying to me, you know, oh, what was it like to play a stereotype, and how do you do that? And I said, well, you know, things are a stereotype because they do exist. So what was compelling for me was exploring how she got there and why she was there and what that relationship gave her. And you see someone who doesn't think they're very connected to the person that they're with, who finds out that ultimately they're almost defined by it, that it is the one thing that is their family. So it was a really interesting thing to explore. You know, the actors that I worked with were so magnificent, and I had a lot of people in my storyline because I'd come in every day and there'd be sort of another actor that I was working with and stuff, and I so enjoyed them and so appreciated their work, and they were so supportive. I mean, Paul has a great eye for actors. He really knows how to find talent, and it was just sort of around you all the time. It was great. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the other thing that's so wonderful. I think the most flattering thing for an actor is to be asked back by a director or to have something written for you. And so he did that with everybody. You know, I mean, there are parts he said, Julie, I'm writing this part for you. And you have one for John Riley, one for Bill Macy, and one for Phil Hoffman, one for Philip Baker Hall. And, you know, so he's definitely out there with writing things with actors in mind. I don't know. I've done it, you know, I've done it a couple of times. I don't know. I mean, I think some people do it. Some directors like to work with the same actors. Some people like to do a whole new thing. I think you'll find it's fairly common, actually. I can tell almost, you know, immediately whether or not I'm interested in something. I usually can tell within the first 10 pages. And then if it's difficult, I usually finish it. And if I find that I continue to think about it, and I'm moved by it, then it's something that I want to do. Yeah, that was a wonderful film, and I'd never carried anything before. So I think that personally, yeah, it was something that meant a lot to me. There were kind of a bunch of them. You know, every time I've worked with a wonderful director, it's been a turning point for me in a sense, because I've learned so much. Not anymore, because basically the independent film is starting to die, because it's become an economic factor in making films. It used to be that you were making a film for $1 million, so that you keep the costs low, so that you could make a film about what you wanted. Now people aren't financing those films because they want to make something for $1 million that's just cheap, because it's cheap, so they can make $30 million. So if that attitude prevails, no, independent film is not about that at all.